Hi, my name's Jared Lee. I bought and scaled an electrical company from. My name's Jared Lee. I bought and scaled an electrical company from 800,000 to $4 million in the last 4 years. I love business. Let's chat. So I think like we consider teams to be like in a sporting team, for example. Let's say I like the analogy of soccer. It's what I played my whole life. We never just pick a team of strikers, a team of defenders, or a team of goalkeepers. We always structure our team to have great people in great positions. Now, being in business, I've definitely noticed this as well. But we always we still look at like who's going to be a killer as such in the business, who's going to be efficient, profitable, and things like that. But sometimes I think to build the ultimate team, you really need to sit back and go, who fits best into my team? What is the team need at this present time? And it doesn't necessarily have to be a skill level thing. It can be a skill type. As an example of this, if we have a team of, say, 5 tradesmen in my electrical company at the time, everyone's really good at what they do. Maybe the best thing for the team is not to pick another tradesman that'll just add to the fire. Maybe what we need is a organizer. So this is the person that comes in and can organize and keep them guys on point. Sometimes when you get to a larger team, sometimes the happy, bubbly admin lady may be what's required to bring an element of happiness and joy and fun to the workplace. So it's not always about winning in the efficiency metrics and things like that. It can come down to, a cultural fit sometimes is what you might need for the particular position. And I've also seen this in soccer where sometimes you may have a lot of skill. We've heard the term where it's like they have a team of stars but not a star team. And this is a prime analogy of that, where you can have the greatest players, but sometimes to have someone who's not as skillful, 2 or 3 that aren't as skillful, but they're just a great organizer who can sit in the middle of the field and organize, keep cool heads when you're in front or behind, a great goalkeeper with great vision and communication. Structuring these people down the center of the field can really keep the team aligned when the game's not going in the way you would like. They may not be the most skilled. They may be better players, but for the team, they are the best fit. But I want to just take it a step further, which I've been thinking about. And this isn't mine. This is a guy named Diego Perella. And there's also another guy I like listening to called Christopher Cole. He wrote a paper called The Algorithm of the Hawk and the Serpent, and he essentially talks about how structuring your portfolios as a team. So I want to just relate teams now to financial. There's also one other thing I want to relate it to a little bit further. But for example, we never buy a house and then some people do, but you never buy a house and don't put insurance on it. But in the meantime, you own the house and insurance is there losing you money on the asset every day. It's costing you money, but we still do it. Why? Because if we have a fire, let's call it the goalkeeper or the defender, it'll save the day. It'll pay out the entire value of the home when it turns to zero because of a fire. So we also do this with cars. We buy any large purchases, but where we don't is when it comes into investing in our personal portfolios or even in the stock markets. And this is one of the, I love finance and I love diving into this stuff, but we don't look at our portfolios the same as a big purchase. People look at, I'll put my money into there and let's hope number go up. We don't actually ever think about buying defense for our portfolio. We don't structure our team correctly. We buy a bunch of Ronaldos and just want to win. But what happens when the tides turn? We don't have a goalkeeper. So this is where I think structuring a investment portfolio also needs to be looked at holistically. A lot of people go, well, I own these particular stocks. I always say, that's great, but your house is a part of the economy. It is part of your financial portfolio. Your superannuation is part of your portfolio, and it is invested. So before we get into investing, we don't even know the players we have in our team. Most people don't. So what we need to do is piece together the parts of the team that we may not really think that are parts of the team. For example, our business. Okay, what is that value? What is that tied to? Our home. What part of the economy is that tied to? Where our investments are in our superannuation. Where is that tied to? We put the pieces or the players on the field, and then we look around and say, oh, what are we missing here? What are the players we need to fill the gaps? Do we need the stable captain with good communication in the middle? Do we need a goalkeeper or a form of insurance to defend us in a bad time? If you ever look at your portfolio and everything is green, that is not good, because insurance on your home is only green when your house burns down. And this is, I think, what we're lacking. The last element of team that I want to really touch on, I'd love to, this is obviously my first time doing this, and I'm just trying to speak it to a camera to get used to this stuff, so bear with me. I'm pretty average at this, but basically the last element of team I think that gets overlooked, and I don't know if it's always been this way or if it's just like the way society's gone, but like the family unit team. Since, I'm not sure when it happened, but the women are now working alongside the men in today's society. I feel like when we've had our daughters one now, my partner found it really hard to stop earning money, as if she's not contributing to our team as a family unit. And I would love to come up with obviously I got a business to run and things like that, so it's not something I can do right now, but I'd love to come up with like a family unit currency that is like staying at home, looking after the child and raising the family, looking after the household, in my opinion, and it should be the opinion of most, is as important, if not more important, than the financial, compensation the man can bring in, if that's the way. And if it's vice versa, if the man is looking after the child and the woman's out, I think the person staying at home is the foundation of the team as much as the person earning money is. So yeah, I think we always try and do things with like we look for people that are similar. We look for, and yeah, we always try to grab these things that are similar. Like everything's going to go up at the same time. We want people that come to our business that are like us. They're killers. They're go-getters. Sometimes that we need the yin to our yang, and I think to build a very successful, great team, we need to find the yins to the yangs and create like perfect synergy. And that's how we can get the most efficiency moving forward. Anyway, that's my little rant. Love to hear people's feedback on it. Not well articulated. Speaking's not my